You've probably heard that nuts are a heart-healthy snack, loaded with protein and good fats. But as a brain doctor, I'm here to warn you. Some nuts could actually raise your risk of stroke, especially if you're over 60. That's right, not all nuts are created equal. Some are hiding toxic oils, artery-clogging fats, and brain-disrupting additives. Others seem healthy on the surface but quietly sabotage your blood pressure and circulation. In this video, I'll share the 5 nuts that I never recommend to seniors concerned about brain health or stroke prevention. If you eat mixed nuts or reach for handfuls without reading the label, this might shock you. Let's dive into what to avoid and what to choose instead. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it consumes 20% of your oxygen and blood flow. That means anything that disrupts circulation, like high blood pressure, plaque in arteries, or chronic inflammation, directly impacts your brain. And guess what? Stroke happens when blood flow to the brain is blocked or bursts. So the way you treat your blood vessels is essentially the way you treat your brain. Now, nuts are often praised as being good for the heart, and by extension, the brain. But that's not always true. Some types of nuts, especially when prepared the wrong way, can raise your stroke risk by increasing LDL cholesterol, blood pressure, or even causing arterial inflammation. I've seen patients who snack on the wrong nuts every day, thinking they're making a healthy choice, when in fact they're quietly building the perfect storm for a stroke. That's why today's topic is so important. We'll start with the worst offenders and explain exactly why they can be so dangerous. Then I'll offer safer alternatives, nuts that genuinely support brain health without compromising your arteries. Let's kick it off with the number 1 nut I tell seniors to avoid. Nut number 1. Salted, roasted peanuts. Peanuts are technically legumes, not true nuts, but they often top the snack list. Salted and roasted peanuts are cooked in hydrogenated oils, sources of trans fats known to clog arteries. These oils promote LDL cholesterol, increase blood pressure, and inflame blood vessels. That's a recipe for a stroke. Add to that the sodium. Many seniors already struggle with hypertension, and excess salt can push blood pressure into dangerous territory. 1 handful of salted peanuts can contain over 200 milligrams of sodium. Do that a few times a day, and you're in stroke risk territory. Nut number 2. Honey-roasted cashews. These sweet treats feel innocent, but they're often laced with added sugars, syrups, and oils. The sugar causes blood sugar spikes and inflammation, which harm blood vessels. The oils used in roasting, often soybean or palm oil, are highly inflammatory. Cashews themselves are high in oxalates, which can strain kidney function, especially in older adults. Nut number 3. Packaged trail mixes. You might think trail mix is a healthy choice, but most commercial blends are loaded with dried fruit soaked in sugar, chocolate bits, and salty nuts. These mixes are calorie-dense and contain hidden trans fats and sodium, a nightmare for anyone trying to keep their arteries clean and blood pressure stable. Nut number 4. Macadamia nuts in excess. Macadamias are buttery, high-fat, and incredibly calorie-dense. While they contain healthy fats in small amounts, overconsumption is easy. Just a small handful delivers over 200 calories and 20 g of fat. For seniors with slower metabolisms, this can quietly raise weight and cholesterol levels, key stroke risk factors. Nut number 5. Flavored almonds, barbecue, ranch, etc. Almonds are healthy when raw or dry roasted, but the flavored varieties are often dusted with sodium, MSG, artificial colors, and preservatives. These additives have been linked to inflammation and blood vessel damage. Barbecue almonds, for example, can contain nearly 300 milligrams of sodium per ounce. If you're eating any of these 5 nuts regularly, you could be increasing your stroke risk without realizing it. But don't worry, there are smarter options, and I'll show you what to choose next. Let's look at why these specific nuts cause problems and what to replace them with to protect your brain. The biggest issue with the bad nuts is not the nut itself, it's how it's processed. Roasting in vegetable oil, adding sugar, or piling on artificial flavors turns a once healthy food into a cardiovascular hazard. And for those over 60, that damage can build up fast. Your arteries become less flexible with age, your blood vessels more reactive, and your brain more sensitive to fluctuations in blood flow. Let's take salted peanuts again. Besides the sodium, they're often roasted in partially hydrogenated oils, which can remain in your system longer and raise your LDL cholesterol. One study showed that just 2 grams of trans fats per day can increase your risk of heart attack or stroke by up to 23%. That's equivalent to a small serving of roasted snack nuts. Then there's sugar. Sugar, especially when added to honey-roasted cashews or sweet trail mixes, increases insulin resistance and promotes chronic inflammation, both of which harm the lining of blood vessels. Inflammation causes small cracks in arterial walls, making it easier for plaque to build up. That's a ticking time bomb for stroke. Even nuts with good fats, like macadamias, can be risky when overconsumed. Seniors often snack mindlessly, especially while watching TV or reading. It's easy to down a few handfuls, not realizing you've just consumed half a day's worth of calories and fat. Over time, this contributes to weight gain, a major stroke risk factor. So what's the fix? It's not avoiding nuts altogether. It's being strategic. Choose raw, unsalted nuts or those dry roasted without oils. Stick to single servings, about a quarter cup, and pair nuts with fiber-rich foods like vegetables or fruit to slow digestion and support blood sugar control. Also, read labels closely. Look for ingredients like partially hydrogenated oils, maltodextrin, or natural flavors that often hide unwanted additives. And if you see more than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving, it's best left on the shelf. Let's now shift gears and explore 5 nuts that actually support your brain, boost circulation, and reduce stroke risk, starting with a surprising one most people overlook. Nut number 1, walnuts. Often called the king of brain-friendly nuts, walnuts are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that supports blood vessel health and reduces inflammation. They also contain polyphenol, which act as antioxidants to protect the brain from oxidative stress, a key factor in stroke and cognitive decline. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that regular walnut consumption improved endothelial function, which is how well your blood vessels dilate and allow healthy blood flow. That's critical for stroke prevention. Walnuts also help reduce LDL cholesterol and improve memory in older adults. Nut number 2, almonds, raw or dry roasted. Packed with vitamin E, almonds support brain cell integrity. They also contain magnesium, which helps regulate blood pressure, a direct stroke risk factor. Raw almonds have none of the sodium or artificial coatings of their flavored counterparts, making them a clean, reliable choice. Nut number 3, pistachios. Low in calories and rich in potassium, pistachios are great for regulating blood pressure and supporting heart rhythm. Potassium helps flush out excess sodium, balancing fluid levels and reducing pressure on artery walls. They also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 compounds that protect the brain from oxidative damage. Nut number 4, Brazil nuts, just 1. These are incredibly rich in selenium, which supports blood vessel elasticity and reduces inflammation. Just one Brazil nut contains over 100% of your daily selenium needs. But be careful, too much selenium can be toxic. Stick to 1 or 2 per day to enjoy the benefits without risk. Nut number 5. Hazelnuts. Often overlooked, hazelnuts are packed with monounsaturated fats and folate. Folate helps reduce homocysteine levels in the blood, a compound linked to arterial damage and stroke risk. Hazelnuts also provide manganese, another antioxidant supporting mineral important for brain health. The goal isn't to fear all nuts, but to get smart about which ones nourish your brain and blood vessels. Next, we'll show how to build a daily nut routine that lowers your stroke risk without overdoing calories. Now that you know which nuts are your allies, let's talk about how to incorporate them strategically into your day, especially if you're over 60 and want to lower your risk of stroke without overloading on calories or fat. Start your morning with a handful of raw walnuts. You don't need a lot, just 5 to 7 halves are enough. Pair them with a fiber-rich breakfast like oatmeal or Greek yogurt to slow the absorption of fats and sugars and keep your blood vessels happy. Walnuts are especially effective when eaten in the morning, when your body is most insulin sensitive and your brain needs fuel after an overnight fast. Mid-morning, swap out that bag of chips or sugary granola bar for 10 to 15 raw almonds. They'll stabilize your blood sugar, provide lasting energy, and offer vitamin E to support healthy brain cell membranes. Almonds are also more filling than crackers or toast, so you're less likely to snack on processed foods later. Later in the day, try a small serving of pistachios, around 30 kernels. These are great as an afternoon snack to combat salt cravings. They're naturally lower in fat than most other nuts and rich in potassium, which helps offset any sodium you might have consumed at lunch. Choose the ones still in the shell if you can. They naturally slow you down and help with portion control. If you're craving something creamy or rich in the evening, a single Brazil nut with a small square of dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, makes a powerful antioxidant combo. It supports brain health and gives you just enough selenium to fight inflammation without risking overdose. And remember, even with healthy nuts, portion control is everything. A general rule of thumb: aim for 1 ounce per day, which is about a small handful. Use small containers or snack bags if you tend to eat straight from the jar. It makes a big difference. Mixing different types of nuts throughout the week can give you a broader range of nutrients and antioxidants. Rotate between walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and hazelnuts. Each has its own stroke protective benefit, and variety keeps your snacks interesting. Next, let's go even deeper into what actually makes a nut stroke safe, breaking down the nutrients, fats, and compounds your brain thrives on. To truly understand how nuts help or harm stroke risk, we need to zoom in on the nutrients involved and how they interact with aging brains and blood vessels. Let's start with fats, because they're the most misunderstood part of the equation. Not all fats are bad. In fact, your brain is made up of nearly 60% fat. What matters is the type of fat. The fats in nuts like monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats are actually protective. They help lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, raise HDL cholesterol, the good kind, and reduce overall inflammation. But when nuts are roasted in hydrogenated oils, like in most flavored or mass-produced nut products, they absorb trans fats. These man-made fats damage the lining of your arteries, make blood stickier, and promote clot formation. That's exactly the recipe for a stroke. Always look for nuts that are either raw or dry roasted with no added oils. Another key nutrient is magnesium. Magnesium helps relax the walls of your blood vessels, keeping blood pressure stable. It also helps regulate heart rhythm and supports the electrical signals that control your heartbeat. Almonds, cashews, when unsweetened, and pistachios are all excellent sources of magnesium. Next, there's potassium, which balances out the effects of sodium. High sodium increases blood pressure, but potassium pulls water out of cells and reduces the strain on arteries. Pistachios and hazelnuts are top sources, and they're especially useful for seniors who need to manage hypertension naturally. Vitamin E, found richly in almonds and hazelnuts, is an antioxidant that protects your neurons and helps prevent the oxidation of cholesterol, one of the triggers for plaque buildup in arteries. If cholesterol is the match, oxidation is the spark. Vitamin E snuffs out the fire before it starts. Selenium, as found in Brazil nuts, reduces inflammation and helps your body remove damaged cells before they form blockages. Just one nut a day provides all you need. More than that can cause selenium toxicity, which is why moderation is key. Omega-3s, especially ALA from walnuts, lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and reduce the risk of clots. They're particularly important because the body can't produce them. You have to get them from your diet. Walnuts are the only nut with a meaningful amount of ALA, making them a top-tier choice for brain and cardiovascular health. But what about protein? While not the primary benefit of nuts, the plant-based protein they contain helps maintain muscle mass, support blood sugar control, and keep you full longer, so you're less likely to snack on blood sugar spiking junk. Beyond nutrition, there's also the glycemic load to consider. Most nuts have a low glycemic index, which means they won't cause blood sugar spikes. That's crucial because high blood sugar can damage small blood vessels in the brain and increase the risk of ischemic stroke. However, once you add sugar like in honey-roasted or chocolate-coated varieties, you spike the glycemic load. And that's where trouble starts. Always choose unsweetened nuts, and check the label even if the packaging says lightly sweetened. Often, lightly still means 3 to 6 grams of added sugar per serving. Let's recap the smartest way to add nuts to your diet. Choose raw or dry roasted varieties. Watch your portions. 1 ounce per day is plenty. Avoid added sugars, oils, and salt. Focus on variety. Mix up your choices across the week. Look for high magnesium, potassium, omega-3, and vitamin E content. This approach allows you to enjoy the full benefit of nuts, reduced inflammation, better circulation, lower cholesterol without the hidden dangers. Now let's talk about a few practical strategies. How to shop, how to snack, and how to avoid the common traps that even health-conscious seniors fall into. Shopping for the right nuts can be tricky. Packaging is often misleading. Words like heart-healthy, natural, or energy blend can disguise what's really inside. Start by reading the ingredients list, not just the front of the bag. The fewer the ingredients, the better. Ideally, it should say just almonds, walnuts, or pistachios. Once you see extra words like sugar, canola oil, natural flavor, or sodium, you're veering off track. Avoid bulk bins unless you know how long the nuts have been stored. Exposure to heat and air causes the fats in nuts to oxidize, creating harmful compounds that can damage arteries over time. Buy in small batches if you don't go through nuts quickly, and always store them in the fridge or freezer to preserve their healthy fats. At home, pre-portion your snacks into small containers or snack bags. This prevents mindless eating and helps you stick to the 1 ounce rule. Try mixing your own blends using raw almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. Add dried herbs like rosemary or turmeric for flavor without sodium. Be cautious with nut butters too. Many peanut butters and almond butters include added sugars and hydrogenated oils. Look for natural nut butters with no added ingredients beyond the nut and maybe a pinch of salt. In short, be a nut detective. The right habits can turn nuts into powerful tools for stroke prevention without sabotaging your efforts through hidden fats or sugars. Let's talk about the biggest mistake I see in well-meaning, health-conscious seniors, thinking that more is better when it comes to healthy snacks like nuts. Even the brain-boosting nuts like walnuts or almonds can become harmful when consumed in excess. Remember, they're incredibly calorie-dense. 1 ounce may look small but packs 160 to 200 calories. If you're eating 2 or 3 handfuls a day, that adds up fast. Over time, those extra calories contribute to weight gain, which is directly tied to increased stroke risk, especially for older adults. And there's another problem: snacking too often. Constantly grazing on nuts, even the right ones, keeps your insulin levels elevated. Insulin is the fat storage hormone, and chronically high levels can promote inflammation, especially in blood vessels. That's something most people never think about. So here's what I recommend. Pick a specific time of day to eat your daily serving of nuts, preferably with a meal to slow absorption. Pair nuts with fiber or protein like raw veggies or plain yogurt to stabilize blood sugar. Avoid late-night nut snacking, which is when your metabolism slows and your body is more likely to store excess fat. For those with limited mobility or slower digestion, even healthy fats can linger in the system too long, causing fatigue or digestive issues. This is why portion control and timing matter just as much as the type of nut. Finally, be mindful of how you feel after eating nuts. Bloating, sluggishness, or brain fog can sometimes be traced to inflammatory oils or preservatives hiding in processed varieties. Keep a food journal if needed. In the end, eating the right nuts in the right way can sharpen your brain, stabilize your heart, and reduce your risk of stroke. But like any powerful tool, they need to be used wisely. Let's recap the 5 nuts that raise stroke risk and the 5 that protect your brain. Warning: nuts to avoid: salted, roasted peanuts, honey-roasted cashews, packaged trail mixes, macadamias in excess, flavored almonds, barbecue, ranch, etc. These are often loaded with sodium, sugar, unhealthy oils, and additives that inflame blood vessels, raise blood pressure, and quietly increase your risk of stroke. White heavy checkmark nuts to choose instead: walnuts, raw or dry roasted almonds, pistachios, Brazil nuts 1 per day, hazelnuts. These nuts are rich in healthy fats, antioxidants, magnesium, potassium, and other stroke protective nutrients. They help your brain by supporting circulation, lowering inflammation, and balancing cholesterol. But remember, portion size, preparation method, and consistency are just as important. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet. Just make small, intentional changes. If you're over 60 and serious about stroke prevention, smart snacking with the right nuts can be a powerful daily habit. But you have to respect the details. Always check the label. Avoid added sugars and oils. Stick to 1 ounce a day. Rotate your nut choices weekly. Store them properly to preserve nutrients. And most importantly, be consistent. 1 good choice a day, every day, builds up over time. That's how real change happens, not through fads, but through routines. This simple habit, when paired with regular movement, hydration, and good sleep, can significantly lower your stroke risk and even improve memory, focus, and mood. It's not about fear. It's about empowerment. You don't need to give up snacks. You just need to snack smart. So the next time you reach for that bag of mixed nuts, stop and ask, what's really in here? Your brain depends on healthy blood flow, clean arteries, and stable blood sugar. The wrong nuts can quietly sabotage that. The right ones, they can strengthen your brain, your heart, and your future. This isn't just about avoiding a stroke. It's about staying sharp, independent, and full of life for years to come. As a brain doctor, I've seen the difference that small choices make. And now, you know one of the most powerful ones, how to choose the right nuts. Share this video with someone you care about. Could literally save their brain. And if you'd like more science-backed strategies to protect your brain, boost memory, and live longer, subscribe and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. Until next time, take care of your brain. It's the only one you've got.